This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. Such great kindness. Chui Bo's eyes lit up and he praised, Elder Xian's arrival at Songyuyang City is the greatest help to Cui Bo, otherwise, I would really have a headache with the situation in Songyuyang City. If I don't handle it well, I will be punished by the Tower Lord. I'll do my best, that's all. Xian Yutong smiled faintly. Send a letter to Tianyuan Trading Company, as Elder Xian said. Chui Bo immediately ordered. At the same time as Myriad Treasure Store received the notice, over 100 members of the Merchant Union who had gathered in Songyue City had also received the notice. For a time, all kinds of speculations were made, and they all felt the pressure of a storm coming. Humph. He actually made a bogus accusation. Tianyuan Trading Company, Ding Ling, you're so good. The Empyrean One Pavilion was cold and gloomy, and the atmosphere was a bit depressing. The people present were even breathing carefully, as if they were afraid of making a sound and scaring someone. In the middle of the hall kneeled an old man covered in blood. He was lying on the ground, trembling. It was the martial honor who had his dantian destroyed by Mo Xiaochuan and was sent flying. Having lost his origin power, he fell from the sky and almost broke all his bones. At this moment, other than the pain all over his body, he was also extremely terrified, causing his body to tremble more and more. I'll send you to the Luochu Chamber of Commerce to assist them and give them some advice. But now, you're telling me that the father and son of the Wu family are dead, that Luochu Chamber of Commerce has been incorporated into Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce, and that you've been crippled of your cultivation, so you've been driven back like a stray dog. The great elder of Empyrean One Pavilion, Su Donha, faced forward with her hands behind her back. She said very slowly, I'm very puzzled, why did you say you were from Tiani Chamber of Commerce at that time? Isn't this smearing our Tiani Chamber of Commerce's reputation? The old man's body trembled violently as he said, Great elder, I just wanted to use the name of the Tiani Chamber of Commerce to intimidate them. Who knew that they wouldn't give in and even injured me to this extent? This subordinate is useless, and my cultivation is now crippled. I hope that Great Elder can take into account my past contributions and find me a medicinal pill that can restore my cultivation. Su Donha turned around and revealed a look of surprise. She said in confusion, You're so useless, yet you still have the face to ask for a pill to heal your dantian? Why didn't I see that you were such a thick-skinned person before? She took out the notice and bent down to open it in front of the old man. See, you're as shameless as Tianyuan Trading Company. It's strange that those people who recruited Luochu Chamber of Commerce didn't recruit a talent like you. Su Donha's eyes became colder and colder. She stared at the old man until he kept trembling and his whole body was stuck to the ground. Trash. Su Donha spat out 2 words and waved her hand, drag him down and kill him. Great elder, even if you don't consider my contributions, you should at least spare my life for my hard work. The old man screamed in horror, as if he couldn't believe that Su Donha wanted to kill him. So noisy. You're so noisy. Su Donha waved her hand and a ray of light shot out of the elder's throat, immediately creating a bloody hole. The old man's face was filled with fear and despair. He kept holding his throat with both hands and struggled desperately. At this moment, 2 disciples of the Empyrean One Pavilion came up and dragged him out. Su Donha's face was cold. She pointed at the notice on the ground and said coldly, Who can tell me what to do about this? The people in the hall were all the higher-ups of Empyrean One Pavilion, and no one dared to make a sound. One of the old men gathered his courage and said, Great elder, Tianyuan Trading Company has gone too far. We only sent Wu Yu to force Ding Ling to marry him and test their strength. They actually annihilated the Luochu Chamber of Commerce. They clearly know that the Luochu Chamber of Commerce is our vassal, yet they are so unscrupulous. They clearly don't put us in their eyes. I think we should use the same method they used to deal with Luochu Chamber of Commerce to destroy Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce like a thunderbolt to shake the prestige of my Tiani Chamber of Commerce. Su Donha felt an inexplicable anger and shouted, "Destroy Tianyuan Trading Company? Are you out of your mind? If we destroy one of the 7 merchant alliances, it will cause a huge storm. What will the other 5 merchant associations do? Can you think before you speak?" The old man's face turned green, but he didn't dare to refute and closed his mouth. Su Donha was angry for a while before she opened her mouth and said, "Tianyuan Trading Company must be taught a lesson. Otherwise, they won't know their place." But before that, he had to investigate 2 things. First, they had to figure out what kind of agreement Myriad Treasure's store had with them. Second, how many Golden Edge and Silver Radiance cultivators have come from Tianyuan Trading Company. If they come in full force, I'm afraid we won't be able to deal with them, so we must send a message to the nearby experts to come as soon as possible. This time, no matter what, we must kick them out of the 7 merchant alliances. With that, she glanced at a white-robed woman in the crowd and her sharp tone immediately softened. "Yue, what do you think?" Liang Yui's body moved slightly, and the 2 bells on the sword at her waist rang. Her long black hair floated behind her, and her skin was smooth as snow. She moved her fingers gently and said softly, "We'll do as you say, Great Elder. I'm just curious who they'll send out for the martial arts and technique competition." Su Donha said, "Yes, this is also something we have to consider. As a key investigation, it's best to destroy it before the competition. This will prevent future trouble." Liang Yui furrowed her brows and said softly, "There's no need to do anything unnecessary. I know you're very confident, but you have to focus your energy on dealing with Li Feiyu and the others. There should be as few of those trash from Tianyuan Trading Company as possible," Su Donha said with a smile. Liang Yui did not say anything. The light in her eyes gradually dissipated, as if she was no longer interested in anything else. "I'll personally pay a visit to Myriad Treasure's store. You guys do your best to inquire about the situation. Be ready to follow me to Tianyuan Trading Company to teach that bitch a lesson." Su Donha said. "Let's disperse." She waved her hand. After Luozu Chamber of Commerce was destroyed and all the experts of the Chamber of Commerce were swallowed by Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce, on the same night, the 27 subsidiary chambers of commerce under Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce received invitations one by one and were invited to a banquet by Ding Ling. The banquet was simple, and everyone in the small hall was discussing timidly. Everyone's face was very serious, and from time to time, they would secretly glance at Ding Ling who was sitting on the throne. Ding Ling sat there without saying a word. No one could tell what she was thinking. She seemed to be lost in thought. After the time it took to finish a cup of tea, Ding Ling finally spoke. Her eyes fell on Yun Xiao, who was sitting on the left, and she said, "Young Master Yun, the remaining 8 families probably won't come." Of the 27 chambers of commerce, only 19 had come, leaving 8 empty seats. It was like a slap to the face, making everyone's expression not too good. Since those 8 families didn't come, Yun Xiao said with a smile, "They don't have to come again. I'll pay them a visit tomorrow to execute the main culprit and guide them to do good." The expressions of the 19 families who had already arrived changed drastically, and they were all shocked. On one hand, he couldn't understand what Tianyuan Trading Company was doing, but on the other hand, he was glad that he had come to the appointment. "Time reveals a person's heart, and true love is revealed in times of need," Ding Ling said. "The 19 allies and good friends here are the most loyal partners of Tianyuan Trading Company. I'll remember their names one by one, and I'll definitely treat you well in the future." "You're too kind, Miss Ding," one of the old women said. "Our Extreme Square Chamber of Commerce has been following Tianyuan since Old Master Ding Shan's hands. Thanks to the Old Master and Miss Ding's care, we've been able to survive in this dangerous environment. The life and death of Extreme Square Chamber of Commerce have long been tied to Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce." "It is." The other 19 families also agreed and expressed their loyalty. Yun Xiao looked at the crowd one by one. With Tianyuan Trading Company's situation declining day by day, everyone thought that the 2 conventions of the Merchant Union had come to an end. The fact that Tianyuan Trading Company could still withstand the pressure from all sides and come forward to support Tianyuan Trading Company showed that it was definitely a hardcore alliance. Ding Ling was also grateful and said, "Thank you for your help, great managers. This time, Ling gathered all of you here to unite everyone's strength to fight against the changes in the future. In order to keep our forces together, I'd like to expand Tianyuan Trading Company's base by one generation and let everyone move in so that they can be connected and look out for each other. I wonder if any of you have any wise opinions? This buy-in. Forgive me for being blunt, but may I ask if Miss Ding is going to make a big move?" an old man asked hesitantly. Today's matter with the Luochu Chamber of Commerce has spread like wildfire. Is there any hidden reason? Ding Ling smiled and said, "I do have some ideas for a big move." The incident with Luochu Chamber of Commerce was brought upon by them, and they actually set their sights on my Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce. It's normal for them to be destroyed in an instant. She clapped her hands lightly, and suddenly, several extremely powerful forces spread out in the field. The space seemed to solidify, and the unbearable pressure grew stronger and stronger. Chi, this is Chi. Under everyone's shock and horror, more than 10 rays of light flew in and revealed their true bodies. They were all powerhouses. The 3 people in the lead had even reached the rank of Martial Supreme, and their auras were shocking. The lowest cultivation base of the dozen or so warriors was actually at the peak of the Martial Emperor realm. As soon as they entered the arena, they immediately bowed to Ding Ling, who was sitting on the upper seat, and said in unison, "The remaining members of the Luochu Chamber of Commerce have joined the Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce loyally. They pledged their loyalty to Lady Ding Ling." Everyone was shocked, especially the 3 martial sovereigns who had a look of loyalty on their faces. It moved everyone's heart. It was easy to defeat a martial supreme, but it was extremely difficult to subdue him. Moreover, it was even more difficult to imagine that so many powerful martial artists would support her so firmly in such a short time. After the shock in everyone's hearts, they immediately revealed a joyous mood. This at least proved one thing: Tianyuan Trading Company's strength was far more powerful than they had imagined. This time, the team that had clenched their teeth and fought to the death seemed to see the hope of victory. "You've all worked hard," Ding Ling said with a smile. "I'm happy for you all to be able to forsake the darkness and join the light." The father and son of the Wu family overestimated themselves and sought death, a martial emperor said loudly. "Thank you for Miss Ding's magnanimity. I'll definitely be loyal to you. We'll be a family from now on," Ding Ling said. "Please take a seat, everyone." "We're scapegoats," the martial sovereign said. "We don't dare to sit. We'll just stand." The crowd was floored. Was this still the martial sovereign of the 9 heavens they knew? Where was the overlord aura of a 9 heavens expert? What was the difference between this and a captive martial artist? "Miss Ding is very pleased to see your loyalty," Yunxiao said with a smile. "How about this? A total of 9 chambers of commerce are delayed by matters and cannot come to the banquet. How about you all make a trip and bring Miss Ding's regards to them?" "Oh, there's such a thing." The martial sovereign had a murderous look on his face as he snorted. He really doesn't know what's good for him. "Young Master Yun and Miss Ding, don't worry. We'll be back soon." The dozen or so people instantly exuded a murderous aura, causing everyone present to feel suffocated. Ding Ling's face showed a trace of pity and said, "After all, we've lived together for so many years, so let it go as much as possible." The martial emperor looked at Yunxiao to ask for his opinion, and a trace of fear flashed in the depths of his eyes. "Since Miss Ding is so merciful," Yunxiao said indifferently, "just execute the chief villain. As for the others, take them in and give them a chance to turn over a new leaf." "Yes." The dozen or so martial artists no longer hesitated. After taking the name list, they did not delay at all. They turned around and turned into rays of light, soaring into the sky and scattering in all directions. The people of the other 19 subsidiary chambers of commerce were so shocked that they couldn't come back to their senses. Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce was so arrogant and domineering, which was completely different from its usual style of avoiding and taking advantage of the situation. Although the young man on the left had an ordinary cultivation base, he occasionally revealed the spirit of a peerless expert. His every move was always inadvertently shocking and elusive. Although the young martial emperor powerhouse was standing there with his eyes half closed lazily and did not care about what was happening, he was like a black hole. Just by standing there, he made it difficult for everyone to calm down. Let's not waste any time, Yunxiao said lightly. You can start moving into the forbidden zone of Tianyuan Trading Company now. I'll immediately order my men to double the area. As long as we work together, no matter how the game changes, we will be invincible. These words caused everyone's bodies to tremble. They hurriedly stood up and said, "We're willing to follow Miss Ding forever, and will never have second thoughts." Everyone bade farewell in a hurry and began to go back to arrange the relocation. Soon, all the people in the hall had left, leaving only Ding Ling, Yun Xiao, and Mo Xiaochuan. As soon as the crowd left, Ding Ling's aloof and indifferent attitude disappeared. She was now full of tenderness, as if she were a different person. She was a little puzzled. How did they train those martial artists? How could they be used by me in such a short time? At first, I was worried that they would become a hidden danger. But from what I saw just now, they seem extremely loyal. Yunxiao smiled and said, "It's simple. I'll just put a little restrictive spell on them. Without my unique technique, their dantian will explode within 3 days, and they will be completely crippled. Do they dare to not show their loyalty?" "I see," Ding Ling nodded and smiled. Young Master Yun was martial sovereign vanquisher, so it was only natural for him to use a few tricks to deal with ordinary experts. What I'm worried about now is what if the Empyrean One Pavilion comes to question us? I've already sent a message to my father, but he hasn't replied, she said with a gloomy expression. Yunxiao frowned slightly and asked in confusion, "Let's not talk about what Ding Shan is planning. As for the Empyrean One Pavilion, there's no need to worry, because there will be someone who will take the blame for us." "Someone is standing up for us?" Ding Ling asked curiously. "Who is it? Could it be Li Feiyu?" Yunxiao shook his head and smiled. He looked in the direction of the Four Extremes sect in the distance and said with a chuckle, "Tang Xan." At the Four Extremes sect station, a young man was listening attentively to a report. His face flashed with a demonic expression, as if every time he looked at it, it would be different from before. It was difficult to tell what his true expression was. "Young master, that's the situation." After a martial honor reported, he said, "I hope that young master can remove the restriction on me so that I can return to serve young master." The revered martial artist was the man who had sworn allegiance to Tianyuan Trading Company, and he was also the liaison of the Four Extremes sect in Luozu Trading Company. He did not have time to escape at that time, and as a result, he was recruited by Yunxiao. Tang Xan paced back and forth in the hall and laughed, "Tianyuan Trading Company, you're so good. I was almost cheated by you." "Oh? What do you mean, young master?" A man wrapped in a black robe sat quietly to the side and could not help but ask. Tang Xan sneered. "Tianyuan Trading Company is playing an empty fort strategy. The more they try to show off, the more it shows that they are in a weak position. This is the only way to mess up the situation and make it difficult for people to predict. Although it's a bit risky, it's a good idea, and it doesn't seem like something Ding Ling would do with her personality. I think it must be the doing of that young Master Yun." The black-robed man was stunned for a moment and asked in confusion, "How do you know?" Although he asked this question, he already believed it in his heart. Because he had been with Tang Xan for a long time, he had never seen him make a wrong guess. Tang Xan smiled and said nothing. "I also have a guess about this, young Master Yun, but I don't know if it's correct. Mr. Hidden Dragon, please help me confirm it. However, let's help him remove the restriction first. Perhaps we can get some clues from the restriction technique." "All right." The black-robed man stood up and slowly walked towards the martial honor. The revered martial artist was overjoyed and hurriedly thanked him, "Thank you, young master." "Thank you, Mr. Hidden Dragon." He turned around and ripped off his shirt, revealing his muscular back. A golden pattern was printed on his back. What an ingenious restriction. Hidden Dragon stared at it for a while and said, "But it's not a problem for me." He stretched out his skinny hand and slowly dug his long and narrow nails into the flesh of the martial honor. Blood immediately gushed out and his back was dyed red. Hidden Dragon's hands continued to form strange seals and sent them into Wu Zun's back. Every time he did so, a red light would shoot out and gradually integrate into the golden seal. Under the impact of the blood light, the seal began to slowly activate and seemed to be about to break. Humph, small tricks, break for me. Break. Hidden Dragon pointed his finger down and touched the array. Immediately, the golden array shot out a strong light, like a golden light blooming. Then, it turned into rays of light and shot into the sky above the hall, gradually taking shape. This Tao Wu. Hidden Dragon was shocked and quickly retreated to protect his body, afraid that there would be an attack hidden within. Arg. This Tao Wu. Tang Xian's shocked voice was heard. Hidden Dragon looked up at the sky and suddenly opened his mouth wide, stunned. The light formed by the restriction condensed into 8 big words in the sky. Young Master Tang Xian, do you dare to meet me? Tang Xian and Hidden Dragon were both shocked, and an indescribable shock spread in their hearts. They both saw the fear in each other's eyes. There were 8 characters hidden under the restriction. Not only did the other party discover the hidden post, but he also predicted it so well that he would find someone to crack it. Even Tang Xian, who always thought that she had never missed anything, was completely stunned. He seemed to be in disbelief that there was someone who could plot against her in the world. Young Master, Mr. Hidden Dragon, what's wrong? Although the revered martial artist also noticed the strangeness, he did not see the words as his back was facing the hall. He slowly turned around and saw 2 completely stunned faces. Whether it was Tang Xian or Hidden Dragon, they were both extremely intelligent people in his mind. They always had a smile on their faces, as if everything in the world was under their control. He had never seen such a dumbfounded look. The shock in Tang Xian's eyes couldn't go away, and he just said awkwardly, this buy-in. He was unable to come back to his senses for a long time before he finally said, Mr. Hidden Dragon, we must investigate this person's identity immediately. I'll go now. Hidden Dragon was also unable to hide the shock in his heart. He turned around and disappeared on the spot. The revered martial artist was stunned and didn't know what had happened. He only felt a sense of relief behind him and the restriction seemed to have disappeared. He thanked him repeatedly. Tang Xian waved her hand impatiently to dismiss him. He walked back and forth in the hall alone, seemingly a little annoyed. This feeling of being unable to control it made him extremely uncomfortable, as if he had predicted that the chess game was deviating from his calculations. Suddenly, a sense of pride welled up in his heart. He said coldly, Young Master Yun, since you're eager to meet me, I, Tang Xian, will give you this qualification. I would also like to see what kind of monstrous talents are hidden among the younger generation in the current heavenly martial arts realm. Overnight, the entire Songwei city was filled with killing intent. The cultivators of Luochu Chamber of Commerce swept through the city one by one and settled the 9 chambers of commerce that had separated from Tianyuan Chamber of Commerce. Those who should be killed were killed, and those who surrendered were surrendered. They didn't encounter much resistance. Other than the powerful martial sovereigns, all the other chambers of commerce were as silent as cicadas in winter. They were worried about their own safety. All kinds of intelligence reports were sent to their respective chambers of commerce at every moment, and many people discussed their future countermeasures. But, Yunshao had a good rest. When he came back to his senses the next day, a ray of sunlight shone into the city, and the whole city began to boil with excitement after his arrival. The 2 pieces of news were like sunlight, quickly spreading through the streets. The first reason was that Tianyuan Trading Company was resentful for attacking others for no reason. With the approval of Myriad Treasure Store and several core members of the business alliance, the Empyrean One Pavilion would punish them. The second piece of news came from the 4 Extremes sect. Tang Xian, who had always been regarded as the wisest person among the younger generation in the Merchant Union, had sent out an invitation to invite Yun Shao, the city lord of Yanwu from the southern region, to the Fragrance Pavilion.